Sahana vavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahabhiryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may He protect us both. May we both enjoy together. May we both exert together. May our studies become brilliant. May we not become disputatious and hate each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. Good morning, everybody. So we are back to Tattva-Bodhah, our Sunday classes. Once upon a time, there was a king, and he had a beautiful daughter. This daughter, when she came of age, she fell in love with a simple person. This person didn't have any money with him. He was not so-called rich, but he was a respectable person. Sir, you must be telling this story. In a lot of Hindi movies, we have seen these stories where a rich girl is there and she falls in love with a poor boy. I am talking about the original story, and this original story is regarding Shiva. So the person's name is Shiva, the boy, and the rich girl's name was Sati. Everybody agreed for the marriage because the girl said, I love this person and I want to marry him only. Shiva also agreed, he didn't have any problems. But the main problem was with the girl's father. His name was Daksha. He agreed to the marriage, no doubt. He said, okay, since my daughter wants to get married, let her get married, let her be happy, it's her life. But he was never really happy with it. After marriage, Shiva and Shiva and Sati were sitting there. Sati was with her friends here, and they were just chatting. And then Sati saw from afar a whole lot of people going towards a particular place, in fact to her father's palace. So she just asked her Sakhi, what's happening? Why are so many people going in a particular place in the city? So the friend said, oh, you don't know, your father is throwing a big party. She said, Dad is throwing a party? Yeah, everybody is invited, everybody. Then she thought, he's invited everybody, but he's not invited me. He's not invited my husband. But after all, Dad has thrown the party. Now, you don't invite people who are your own family, right? Thinking thus, she went to Shiva and said, listen, I know that my dad is throwing a party there and everybody is invited there. We are not invited because you are the son-in-law and I am the daughter. We need to be there. Shiva said, see, understand what's happening. He doesn't like me. He can't understand what we are doing. That is the reason he's not invited us for the party. Whenever we are not invited for anything, remember Sati, we are not supposed to go. So let it be, doesn't matter. We will not go. Sati became angry. Do you have not understood my father properly? He is such a nice guy, and my mother is such a nice guy. And they are all agreed to marriage, or they would have said no to marriage. She started arguing. Shiva did not want to say no to her because he loved her too much. So he said, okay, see, you want to go, you go. I will not come. She said, okay, you don't come, doesn't matter. It's your choice. I am not going to stop you. But I am going. I have to go. My father is giving a party. I have to go. Okay, go. Don't go alone. Take some people along with you. So some followers were there of Shiva. They went away. Nandi, the bull, was also there. He also went. So all these people nicely they went. As soon as she reached the doors, she looked at every god has come, everybody has come, every commoner has come. She goes inside and she sees the mother. She goes and hugs the mother. Mom, and mother also hugs but doesn't say anything. Then she looks at the father and he's talking to some important people there. And she goes and says, Dad, why didn't you call me? In jest she was asking. He just kept quiet and continued talking. Why did you not call me? You should have called me, no. He could not come, my husband could not come. Then Daksha said, I didn't even invite you guys. Sati found out the hard truth about life. She was having faith in somebody or something which should not have been there. And there she's consumed with anger. Everybody looks at her and she's completely disrespected before the guests. She sat there and said, since I am not allowed in this party and my husband told me not to come, but still I had faith in the wrong, I don't want to live a life like this. And therefore, I will consume myself in fire, and next janma, I'll be born to a better father who will understand his children better than what you do. And she just sat there and they did yogic penance. She collapsed and passed away. The story continues. Shiva came to know, he got so angry, he sent two of his main bodyguards. I forgot one guy's name, Kali. One Kali and the other was Asura, and both of them went there. Veerabhadra and Kali, and both of them went there and destroyed the whole Yagashala. So that's the episode which is going on. But the main story here, and next Janma, naturally Sati is born as Parvati to a better father, Brahma, and then they get married and all those things. The content is, we have a problem. The problem is, since our identification with the material equipments is total, our identification with every aspect that is temporary and ephemeral is completely total. Such an extroverted attitude in dependency on the world and the relationships and anything external has spoiled us to a level where we have destroyed ourselves. This is the biggest impediment in anybody's path. Eventually, when a person starts understanding that I may be wrong because I am attached. Yesterday, one of the child, hardly 7-8 years, in children's class, we have Saturday children's class, 7-8 year child, he asked me a beautiful question, because 2 questions are compulsory from the children's class. You have to ask the question. And the child asked, last class, sir, you had explained to us the difference between love and attachment. This was the question of a 7-year-old child. Okay, listen to this. Last class, that is Saturday, last week, so he remembers what happened last week. you had explained to us the difference between love and attachment. Sir, if you get attached, how to get out of it? I was shocked because none of the adults also asked that question. We are knee deep, in fact neck deep into attachment, and yet we are so comfortable in it, so comfortable. So the first sign is complete dependence in something which is wrong. Like Sati depending on the father saying that no, there must be something wrong. He is just not invited because must he have forgotten. Faith in the wrong. And over and above that, as soon as the person realizes that, oh my God, I may be doing something wrong in life, second obstacle comes in. The process is too big. Too big process. First of all, I have to find out that I am extroverted, then removing the dependency outside. Then I have to find out what is my composition of life. I have a physical body, I have a mind, I have an intellect, and based on the physical body, then I have to do karma yoga, selfless activities. Based on my mind, I have to do bhakti yoga. Based on my intellect, I have to do dhyana yoga. So all these things, sir, process thoda zyada hai. Can't we shorten it little bit? If you can shorten it, and in a day or two, if I can become something, nothing like it. We don't have the focus in the process. One thing at a time, one day at a time. So keep on cementing that which is real inside us, the Supreme Self, the divinity, the pure consciousness, Brahman, Atman. You give it any name you want, it really doesn't matter. Any name. Understand that the divinity is real in us. And the non-divinity part, the equipments as mentioned in the Shastras, are the machinery which the divinity uses to interact with the world outside. The identification is total. So to remove the identification from the material equipments of body, mind, intellect, people start with the process, but they stop. They don't know how to go about it. They get tired. और कितना करने का? And everybody has got their range of flights. So they fly only that much. We always say a sparrow will fly only to that level. A chicken will fly to its level. A pigeon will fly to its level. A crow will fly to its level. And an eagle will fly to its level. If I am born a sparrow, then sparrow shall I die. If I am born a pigeon, then pigeon shall I die. That's okay. Fair enough. Whatever I am born, I am dying there. It's all right. I am living that kind of life. It's perfectly all right. But what if I am an eagle, and because of social pressures, society pressures, it has been dinned inside my head that I am a sparrow. So we are basically like eagle flying at the range of the sparrow, because all the sparrows around has told me that I am a sparrow. We stop at the process itself. Itna bas hai. There is this beautiful example in Krishna's life. This everybody knows, okay? So I'm just repeating it for what it's worth. Krishna was playing football with his friends, and the ball went into a particular pond. And all the friends said, we should not go there because there is a dangerous snake, Kalya Nag. There is a dangerous snake there and it destroys everything. The whole water is poisonous. We should not go. And the story is Krishna waded into the water. The ball was not to be seen. It was down somewhere. Heavy ball. So he went inside, dived. Every children ran, all the children ran to the village, and they called Yashoda and said, your son is down and there is a dangerous snake down there. She comes running, beating her head saying, oh my God, my child, my child, my child. And then they see that famous vision. All the villages are there of Vrindavan, and they see Kalya Nag standing like this, with its 100,000 heads or whatever, and on the top of the head is Lord Krishna standing and playing music, flute. Every time one of the head comes up, Krishna stamps it down. So it's like a piano. One head comes, he stamps it down. Another head comes, he stamps it down. He does all these activities, completely putting the head down, subduing it. But all the while, he's playing his flute. He never leaves the process until the mind is completely subdued. He tells Kalia surrenders, the snake surrenders, and he tells the snake to leave the pond, and the pond becomes better again. Water becomes drinkable again. This attitude of stamping on the head of Kalia, different heads of Kalia, while playing a flute, indicates what life is about. This is life. So in the process, while I am studying, don't give up, don't be complacent. I had a problem with my mother-in-law, but now I have understood that everything is my mind, so I will tackle. Okay, bye. And we give up. We give up because we think we understand. That's the problem. The problem is understanding and living a life is entirely different. So the first step is just listening to the scriptures. The second step is understanding it, and the third is living it. There is a gestation period. There is a gap between when I hear first time, oh, this is it. This is love, this is attachment, oh, this is what is called upasana, this is what is called devotion to a guru. You start understanding and unraveling the scriptures, and then slowly become reflective. Start contemplating upon that, and then you reach a state of living it. There is a gap between that. Majority of people give it up there. Similarly, the textbooks, what we are doing, Tattva-Bodhah, its definitions going on. Many people say, this I know, and you give up. I know that, last class we did, sir. I saw the whole video, we are doing the waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. There are basically 3 states, correct? And in the waking state of consciousness, everything looks very real, because everything is framed into these 3 compartments of time, space, and causation, as you said, and it looks very real. All our data and every aspect of our life is dependent on this waking state of consciousness. But I am not the name, I am not the form, I am not the station where I am not a grahastha, I am not a brahmachari, I have children, I don't have children, I am married, I am not married. All these are just stations given by the society to me, my assets, my cars, my this, my that, everything. But I understand that at present I am just a waker experiencing the waking state of consciousness. Lovely. Got it? Yes, sir. I don't know what's going to happen. Sorry. This is, my husband is so bad that he's troubling me a lot. Whenever I go to my house, my wife keeps on nagging continuously. Whenever I go to the house, the children keep on asking more and more. It's a race going on, sir. Economy is so bad. I don't have even money. I don't have this, I don't have that. I don't have the pleasures of the world. Other people are having everything because they are all corrupt. But we don't have, because honest people have to suffer. It's written, no? Everybody knows that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Just now you mentioned you are the waker experiencing the waking state of consciousness. Then you become the dreamer experiencing the dream state. Then you become the deep sleeper experiencing the deep sleep. All the 3 are different, alag. all of them are temporary, and all of them you can only experience one state at a time. Therefore, all the three are temporary. But that power which functions through all the three is the same, that divinity. Yes, sir, I know it. We had a children's class a long time back, offline class 2 years back before this COVID thing happened. And there was this boy, very, very sweet boy, 12-year-old boy, nice roly-poly boy, cute boy. And I always teach this in the class. The world will be irritating, but you should not be irritated. So I tell the children, repeat. And I say, world will be irritating and you should not be irritated. The phrase. So I keep on reminding them and they keep on repeating it. The world will be irritating, I should not be. And I told everybody to write down a particular Bhagavad Gita shlok. So they were writing the shloka. And the exercise, as I told you before, is to write it without a mistake. If there is a mistake, I'll cancel it. And you have to rewrite it. So it's around 13, 14 children there. This boy was also writing. And other people were talking to him, so he was getting disturbed. So he looked at me and said, sir, look, no, these people are disturbing me, sir. I am not able to write. So I looked at that boy and said, hey, Manan, in the name of Manan, hey, Manan, remember, the world will be irritating. And he looked up to me and said, yeah, I know, and world will be irritating. I should not be irritated. I know. And he continued writing. I felt like laughing so much. He knows the quotation. The world will be irritating, but I should not be irritated. He knows the quotation. But does he really know it? We know that all the three states of consciousness we are living in, none of them is permanent. Do we really know it? Because if I know it, really, that all the three are not really important. It is the association with the fourth state, the turiya, that is more important. Then I would not experience any stress or agitation in my mind. Contrary is true. The moment I get into identification with the lower, that's the time I get into trouble. So we are focusing on the lower only. We finished the dream state, waking state, deep sleep state. Now we move on to other things which I am not. We remember, Vedanta always moves from what I know to what I don't know, known to the unknown. So what I know, these identification, these stations. So all these stations, I am supposed to say, this is not me. Abhi tak, by mistake, I was saying, this is me. This is not me. I am not the person who is going to sit and cry and say, this is me, this is the sad me. No, I am somebody different. Now we are moving to what it is. Mano, buddhi, ahamkara, chitta, ninaham. I am not the mind, I am not the body, I am not the intellect, chitta, I am not the pure conditioned consciousness too. Na shotra jive, na cha grana netre. I am not the eyes, I am not this, I am not the jiva. Then who are you? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am that supreme reality. So negation of what I have attributed and identified as my personality and assertion of what I really am. Both these things are needed. We don't do both. First, there is no assertion of the higher self. Second, complete attachment to the lower self. Complete attachment to temples and churches and mosques, and people say, India is a very spiritual country. Our country is a very spiritual country. On what basis? What is the meaning of spiritual? Spirituality is identification with the higher and getting away from the lower. We are doing some more lowers now. The 5 koshas, the 5 sheaths. So we'll do that. Where is that? Yeah, the 5 sheath. Number 19. Pancha kosha ke. What is the 5 koshas? I'll explain this to you. What are the 5 sheaths? They are Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha. 5 koshas. Kosha means sheath, that which covers. Kosha basically means that which covers. So whatever covers is not important. Like a sword has a sheath, a covering. So whatever it is covering is not important. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. So we have the 5 koshas. One is the Annamaya Kosha, second is the Pranamaya Kosha, third is the Manomaya Kosha, fourth is the Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. The 5 koshas. Koshas represents the covering, the sheath. Sheath, the covering is not important. What is being covered is what is valuable. So these are the 5 coverings which covers the human personality. And when I say the human personality, I am talking about the Supreme Self. What are the 5 coverings? The first covering, the grossest covering, which you can see outside, is called Annamaya Kosha. Annamaya Kosha, the food sheath, Annamaya Kosha Kaha. What is Annamaya? I just read it and then explain to you. That which is born of the essence of food alone, sustained by food, and finally merges into the earth as food, is called food sheath or gross body, the physical body. This is very easy. Sustained by food. What I eat is what I am. It's sustained by food. It eventually becomes food. After I die, it goes back to the earth and it becomes a fertilizer. All the worms, all the bacteriums, all the viruses eat me up after I die. True or false? False. They eat me up after I die, and even now they are constantly eating me up from within. Each one of us has got 1,000 systems inside which is eating. It's natural, it's normal. So sustained by what? Sustained by what I eat. It is the external cover. It is the physical body or the gross body. It is very, very important to sustain this body, but not so important where the whole focus shifts only to that. So who is a spiritual person? Spiritual person is one who eats sattvic food. Somebody was asking this question to me, interviewing me in fact. Sattvic food. Sir, do you eat sattvic food? And the answer was, no, I don't eat sattvic food. I eat food and it becomes sattvic. Eating, what should I eat? What should I drink? What should I wear? Should I wear a mala? Should I wear a kurta or a dhoti? Should I wear a chandan, katika? If the chandan is there, should I wear it horizontally or should I wear it vertically? What kind of hairdo should I have? Long jatadhari hair or short hair or no hair? Those who have no hair, they say, see, I don't have any vasanas because the whole thing is off. Those who have long hair says a real rishi is only who has long hair. Everybody associates spirituality to everything other than the real matter. Annamaya Kosha is sustained by food. So first of all, give up the importance of sustenance of this personality. Be careful. listen to this carefully. When I say give up the importance, an obsession to the level of maddening patterns, where the focus is only how do I look? How do I look? Is my face glowing? Actually, your face is shining. That is because of the light behind. This happened. That this is your face. This is the problem. This is the skin tone. This is the skin color. This is the way the hair should be. This is the way the skin should be. Everything about the cross body. Every aspect is only about and obsessing to a level. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, especially in this country, where everybody has to become fair and lovely. Everybody is supposed to be. You have to become fair. Dark skin is not appreciated in a country where dark skin is natural. It's a tropical climate. But the focus is physically I need to be. Now when we say this, that give up that importance, obsessing importance on the physical personality, people gave up the whole thing. Yes sir, you are carried, because after all it is the matter of the spirit, right? Yeah, we have to be spiritual, so we are bothered about the spirit, not the physical. So it doesn't matter how the physical body is. If my leg is paining, let it pain. If my shoulder is paining, let it pain. If my back is paining, let it pain. If my neck is paining, let it pain. If my head is paining, let it pain. After all, I want to become spiritual, sir. Spiritual. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Either we give up the whole thing, or we don't, or we take up the whole thing. There is no middle path. So when the Shastras say, remember, it is just a physical body, it means it's a good vehicle. It's a beautiful vehicle which takes you from point A to point B. Whenever this vehicle takes you from point A to point B, the vehicle should be all right, so that the passenger can be delivered to point B. Similarly, in us, there are desires which needs to be fulfilled. Therefore, for the fulfillment of those desires, a body is required. Therefore, maintain the body. Every day exercise is compulsory, whatever it is. Sir, I can't exercise, because there is no gym in my house and there is no gym in my society. I don't know what to do. Climb stairs. But sir, our building is only second floor, 3 floor only. What is their use? I can't climb the neighbor's building stairs. There is a lot of buildings around everywhere. Pick up any building, go inside and just climb the stairs and come. Best exercise, cardio. Take care of the physical body. In the Upanishads, it says Shatagu Samaha. It needs to be going on with you for 100 years. Kam se kam. 100 years you are supposed to live a healthy and enthusiastic life. So when the Shastras say this is just a Kosha, Annamaya, sustained by food, ultimately ends up as food, it is not to demean this vehicle's importance. Remember this. Somebody asked Vivekananda, what should I do if I want to become spiritual? He just said, go and play football. Just go and play football. So when you have that tendency of having exercises every day compulsory, every day walk compulsory, every day yoga compulsory, yoga, bending, you will name it. There are a dime a dozen exercises now in different names. Do anything which is comfortable to you, but keep on moving this body. Why? Let me see. There is no other body. You don't have another body. You don't have even spare parts of this body. Even when you buy a shirt from the market, at the end of the shirt, you get one button stitched behind. It gives you a spare. In case a button gets removed, then what you can do is you can take that button and sew it back again. So they give you a spare. Everybody, wherever you buy a cloth, they give you a little spare. Physical body, 2 eyes only. Only. You don't have a spare. We will do everything, all other activities, and ignore our eyesight. We'll do all other activities and ignore the body part which doesn't have a spare part. How foolish can we be? This is where I was saying start. We are not bothered about what is really important. We'll do everything else. But once the sight goes, you can't do anything. You have to just give it up. You need to experience it to understand. Sometimes just do this once. Close your eyes half a day and live. Just half a day, close your eyes and live. Walk around in your own house, not in somebody's house. Each and every part of the body is valuable. Hands, legs, head, neck, shoulders, back, lower back, everything. Take care of it. It doesn't have a spare part. It should be beautifully maintained. For that maintenance, I need to eat good food. So eat. But don't keep on declaring what you are eating. You don't need to. There are sports people who are at the pinnacle of their health, running around even at the age of 40 and 50. When you ask them what makes them, there is a person who's from India who ran at the age of 104 a marathon, 6.5 kilometers marathon. Senior citizen marathon is usually around 4.5 kilometers. He ran that 6 kilometers or something, and the interviewer asked, "So how do you feel, sir?" He said it was all right. 6 kilometers, 104-year-old. Where is the limit? Take care. And when you ask him, what do you do? What do you eat? Simple खाना, normal. बस एक ही चीज है, किसी के ऊपर ज्यादा टेंशन नहीं लेना, मन को अपना शांत रखना. Everybody, anybody who's achieved anything in sports, you listen to everybody, right from tennis, Boris Becker, to Nadal, to Federer, to even badminton, or any of these giants. You ask them from India or abroad, the first thing they'll say is, we should learn not to take pressure. Take care of your physical body by exercises, eat good food, drink healthy drinks. The best drink you can get is water. Drink that a lot, and maintain the physical body. But don't be obsessive about the physical body to such a level that the whole life goes on only maintaining the physical body. Especially Indian households. They have the morning cup of tea at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Then immediately while having tea, the thought is, what should we have for breakfast? While having breakfast, what should we have for lunch? While having lunch, what should we have for evening snacks is very important. With chai, with a little bit, that's also important. Then that time, what should we have for dinner? 70, 80 years of my life have disappeared. This is what people say. It's disappeared just on thinking what I should eat and what I should not eat. Disappeared. Disappeared on discussions of which food is healthy for me, what type of drink I should have, what type of breathing, all these activities. Take care, do what is right for you, and move. Chalo, aage chalo. You go to a temple of Tirupati and you stand there. There are people pushing you, saying, "Chalo, move, aage jao, nagade, go ahead." We are supposed to move ahead. Don't be obsessive about the physical body. This is sustained by food, whatever you eat, ultimately it will end at food. Therefore, take care of the physical body, because I have only one body and it is that body which is going to take me from point A to point B. Point A, from the shores of mortality, to point B, to the infinite shore of immortality. This body has to take me. So if it is 104, it's 130, it's 180, doesn't matter. Keep it in good repairs. And if a spare part, if a problem is there in any part, rest. Take good care, rest, rectify and come back again. Keep on coming. Never complain, this is wrong with my body. Keep on updating it. Okay, it's one part is gone, I'll rectify it. Keep on rectifying, but don't cry over it. Oh my God, you know what's happening? My back, sir, I tell you. ठीक है ना बाबा? Repair it. My knees, repair it. It's a physical body, it's a vehicle, repair it. So that's what he's talking about. That which is born of the essence of food alone, sustained by food, and finally merges in the earth as food, is called food sheath, cover. Okay, food sheath or the gross body. We move on to the next one. Vital air sheath. Pranamaya kaha. What is Pranamaya? The 5 physiological functions like prana, etc., along with the 5 organs like speech, etc., together constitute the vital air. Speech, etc., that's eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin, speech, right? So we are talking about actions, organs of actions and organs of perception. Pranamaya Kosha, vital air sheath, the breath. Sir, that is the reason in pranayama we say control one's breath. Control one's breath. You have to control. Yes. Pranamaya Kosha is a bridge between two. It has a part to play even in the gross body. It has got a part to play even in the subtle body. Breathing is a bridge between the physical body and the Manomaya Kosha, which is going to come. So take care of the breath. How do you take care? Do pranayama every day. 5 times take in, 5 times give out, hold on to, so you know pranayama, right? Do the pranayama, hold on to this, breathe in, then hold, then remove the thumb, breathe out, and breathing out has to be always double of what you breathe in. This is pranayama. So it is said in the yoga classes. Pranayama, what breathing exercise are talking about, people talking about that it will quieten the mind, it has a little impact. But if anything goes wrong with the breathing technique, the physical body collapses and the mind gets agitated. And according to my own experience, if you see this, when my mind gets agitated, stressed and tensed, my breathing becomes uneven. And when my breathing becomes uneven, my body starts collapsing. So it is, as I told you, a bridge between both of them. So what is the meaning of this kosha, pranamaya kosha? Pranamaya, pranas, there are 5 pranas within us. There are 5 categories of pranas. It starts with first called prana. Prana is when I take stimuli from the outside world. Whatever stimuli I take, what I don't need in my system, I throw it out. That is called Apana. Then whatever is balance in my system, it needs to be digested properly. So the digestion of that stimuli is called Samana. After digestion, there has to be a circulation of that energy throughout my personality. That is called Vyana, circulation of the whole in the whole system. Out of the stimuli, whatever I got, a little bit of energy, that is glucose and oxygen, needs to reach my brain to make my brain active. That is called Udana. Even if you don't get it, it's alright. Just understand the process. I'll show it with an example. I have an apple in my hand. This is how we live. Imagination. So I have an apple in my hand. I eat the apple. I have taken in the stimuli. Prana. Out of that apple, I by mistake eat everything. Whatever I don't need, I evacuate from the system. Apana. Then that apple or that fruit or whatever I'm eating needs to be digested first. That is Samana. Whatever is digested in its food particles, it's broken up into more pieces and then circulated all over the personality by the blood, is called Vyana. And out of the food that I'm eating, if it is energy rich, then a little bit of glucose and energy, oxygen, goes into the brain, which helps the brain to assimilate thought processes. It makes the brain either sharper or dull, depending on what I eat. Therefore, when people have anything important to do, like this Sunday, these classes, when these classes are going on, and Saturday, you have a huge dinner, heavy eating. Morning you get up and eat again a heavy breakfast, and then you sit and listen to the lecture. You will be sleeping peacefully. The mind becomes lethargic, lazy. But the same thing when you eat light, whenever you have anything important the next day, you eat light. Next day you are fresh. So whatever so prana is this digesting that thought pattern of evolving more, thinking more, whether it makes me lazy or whether it makes me active. All these things in control is called pranayama. So pranayama, what we do, the breathing exercise is only a breathing exercise, but the real thing is all these 5 capacities to be controlled. All the 5 to be controlled? Yes. That's very difficult, sir. 5 cheese pura to, you don't have to do anything. You have to control only one. The rest is not in your hands. Whatever you can control is what you have. So what is the kind of stimuli you are taking in? What is the kind of sight you are seeing? What is the kind of food you are tasting? What is the kind of music or sound you are listening? That's important. Only that. Because after it goes out, Apana is not in your hands. It happens. Samana, digestion, happens. Vyana, circulation of that aspect, happens automatically. Udana, thought absorption, happens. These 4 parts are not in your hands. So what we have to do? Just control the stimuli. What to eat, what not to eat, what to drink, what not to drink, what kind of sounds I am listening to and what I can avoid, what kind of thoughts I am entertaining in my mind and what I can give up. When I think from this point of view, then I have controlled my prana. Understand, it is not important. The sheath is just a cover. So first cover is Annamaya Kosha. Pranamaya Kosha is more subtler than Annamaya Kosha. So when we use the word subtler, it means Pranamaya Kosha pervades Annamaya Kosha. Pervasiveness is what is called subtle. Okay, so if anything happens in the pranas, the physical body will suffer. Therefore, take care of the physical body, but take care of your breath also. The rishis, in fact, they have mentioned this beautifully. They have said that you are blessed with only that much breath for living. X amount of breath. Therefore, more spiritual you are, your pulse rate, they measure the pulse rate, it will always be down. Why? Because you are not hyper on anything. The motor is not running on non-essentials. Therefore, breathing is controlled. Longer the breath, more the life. Aram se, aram se, aram se. Nothing is worth working yourself up. Nothing in the world. If you are a truly spiritual person, you'll understand one concept. Right at the top of the priority list is my happiness. And I am not going to compromise on my happiness. I have to be happy at the end of the day. Isn't it very selfish, sir? Yeah, it is extremely selfish. But that is a fact, because when you are not happy, how can you make others happy? I can't make others happy when I am unhappy. So first, I am not going to compromise on my mental peace. So when a problem comes, I will solve the problem if it is mine. If the problem is not mine, we used to play cards long time back. Bachpan mein khelte the na. So we used to have these certain games where you don't have a card to particular put, 3 or 4, you don't have a card to put. So you just say pass. And it goes, other people will do it. Can I sit like this, and if the agitation comes, I just say pass? This is the problem. Sorry, not my problem. Pass, pass. And if anybody says my problem, solve it. Anybody comes for help, solve it. Otherwise, don't put your nose in other people's problem where it is not concerned at all. Leave it. So, Pranamaya Kosha is a covering which has got all these 5 pranas. The next, the mental sheath. Manomaya Kosha. What is this mental sheath? What is Manomaya Kosha? Mind and the 5 sense organs of perception together becomes Manomaya Kosha. So I told you, physical body has got these 5 sense organs of perception and action. Vital air sheath is subtler than the Annamaya Kosha, physical gross body. Therefore, it includes the sense organs of perception as well as prana. Mind pervades or is subtler than both these aspects, Pranamaya Kosha as well as Annamaya Kosha. Okay, so when we say subtler, again I say pervasiveness, because when the mind is disturbed, the breath goes topsy-turvy and physical body fails. I am extremely hungry. Food is kept before me. Buffet is kept before me. I am breathing very beautifully. I had all the exercises. The heart is pumping blood beautifully. And I am about to eat. I take up all the goodies in my plate. And about utne mein there is a phone call. So I just take my hand, take on the phone. Emergency. The son was riding a bicycle, 7-year-old, and the bicycle met with an accident and he is in the hospital. This is the message come. Mother, the wife's message is, I have already left for the hospital, you also come, I am panicking. And you are so intelligent, now you are so spiritual that you keep up the phone down and say, ठीक है, लड़के का accident हुआ ना, बाद में देखा जाएगा, and you continue eating. Do you do that? No. Once the mind is disturbed, breathlessness starts. The breathlessness starts and the physical body collapses. Therefore, mind is important. It is the biggest thing, this mind. It includes the pranas and it includes the sense organs, because the ear is there. Now you are all sitting there, the ear is there, you are listening, thinking about it, whatever is being said. But are you concentrating? Are you hearing or are you listening? Because when you are hearing, you just listen from hear from here and throw it out. This is what was said. Many people sit and they can't even focus properly. Then they have to revisit the lectures again and again, and still they will not get, because the mind is getting distracted everywhere. Now this is what hearing. Listening is olden times. They didn't have anything to write. They just had a book in their hand and they used to sit and read. And when the teacher said anything, their concentration, the students' concentration was so good that they intensely reacted to whatever the teacher said, and it was burnt into their memory. That level of concentration is where, and where is the level of concentration now? It's like an insect, mosquito. It's running here and there. In 2 minutes it's going there, 2 minutes is the doorbell, 3rd minute is the phone call, 4th call somebody is calling, 5th call, everywhere it is running. Control of the mind. So 5 sense perceptions also included, because if the mind is not focused there, you will not hear. So many times you are reading a particular book and somebody calls you and you don't hear, because your concentration is here. Mind, mental sheath is very important. To control the mental sheath, and the importance of the word hurts directly only this sheath. Straight away, it hurts everything, but more responsible for this sheath, mental sheath. The whole world is bifurcated into these 2 things. One is Kanchana, the other is Kamini. Those who have done Bhajagovinda with us, they will come to know. Kanchana is running behind wealth. Kamini is running behind enjoyment. And both these, Manomaya Kosha has this weakness for both. The personality has a weakness for both. There's this beautiful poem called The Pineapple and the Bee. It's a simple poem where a bee is going around a particular window pane, and in that window pane, inside, it's closed from all sides, and inside there are these 3 layers of pineapple. And the bee tries hard to go inside to taste that pineapple. Half a day it spends. After going all day, trying half a day, it goes away. It trims its way, another way. Then the poet gives the example of a man, Cynthio, standing on the streets, lined up with all these young people, because princess is coming in the carriage. In a glass carriage, the princess comes and she looks at everybody and she waves. And Cynthio looks at the princess. And the quotation is, she, the pineapple in the glass, he, the silly, unsuccessful bee. Kamini, enjoyment. The next example is given of a maid who goes around in the streets and she sees these shops with window displays, bracelets, earrings, nose rings, clothes. She looks at all the goodies but sighs at her empty pocket. All the goodies are the pineapple, and she, the silly, unsuccessful bee. Wealth. And then the last 8 lines. You learn these 8 lines, you have learned how to live life. Our dear delights are often such. Our dear delights are often such, exposed to view but not to touch. The sight our foolish heart inflames. We long for pineapple in frames. With hopeless wish, 2 types of people. With hopeless wish, one looks and lingers. I wish I had that. One breaks the glass and cuts his fingers. One hurries into it and destroys himself. With hopeless wish, one looks and lingers. One breaks the glass and cuts his fingers. But they, the rare ones, but they whom truth and wisdom lead can gather honey from a weed. From a dry experience also, they can get honey out of it. Who? Who are led by honesty, truth and wisdom. They take their own time to develop. They take their own time to evolve. They understand their own personality, especially our mind, and then focus on eradicating the negative aspects of it and cultivating positive aspects. And you know the best thing? They are not in the race with anyone. They are in their own flights. They are flying solo. They look here and there. So from all practical purposes, they are in the world, but internally there is a disconnect. They don't use the word disconnect, they use the word dispassion. They are involved in the world, do everything, but internally nothing hurts them. That level of flight one needs to reach. How? With truth and wisdom. Be always honest with your talents and be wise of where to think and where not to think. If you are not wise, be careful. You will become otherwise. We'll continue next time. Thank you very much. Hari Om.